So we're about 17 days away from SummerSlam, right? That's about 2 weeks, and the card's starting to kind of form and take shape. My question is, I wanted to get your thoughts on what do you think about the SummerSlam card?
So I have the card written down here.
Okay.
I have it written down here.
Okay.
And
I looked it up because I wasn't 100% sure.
what's funny is there was perception and reality. Mm-hmm. The build up to, we've been watching with your brother and his wife, and we've been watching every Monday Night Raw and SmackDown together as a group. It's been fun. And I've actually been like the hype. I think the room has hyped up the card, and we were like, oh man, let's do it. And then like I sat down and I looked at what was online for the card, and I'm like, I don't know about this. This is supposed to be the second. Remember, this is supposed to be the second biggest event of the year.
Yeah.
Outside of WrestleMania, this is the big show. This is what they do. Last man standing match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Again, like we were saying again last time. Again, how many times are we going to like put this as the main event of a show that needs saving? At this point, I tell you, I'm praying that Theory cashes in just so that we know this won't happen again for a while. Cause I get like Roman and Brock individually, they're great, but we all know when they get in the ring together, it's going to be 10 minutes at best. Right? Because neither one of them's going an hour.
No.
So you're getting a lot of physicality for 10 minutes. They're going to beat the life out of each other, 15 minutes at best. And that's what you're getting out of that main event. And they'll build it up. Paul Heyman will fucking sell it to us. He'll give us the Kool-Aid. We'll drink it. We'll be excited. But like on paper, I go, again, we did this in April. We already did this.
They need to give it to us every 3 months, apparently.
Then I go SmackDown Women's Championship. Liv Morgan, Ronda Rousey. Yeah. All right, all of these matches, my problem is I go, something else has got to happen. But you can't have that happen in every match. So what happens there? Is that a straight up match? Does Natalya get added to that match? Or is Liv Morgan going to beat Ronda Rousey straight up? Is WWE behind her like that? I mean, cool. So. If they are, I'm okay with it. Like, let's put if we're going to strap a rocket on Liv's back, let's strap the rocket. I don't think they have the balls to do it. I don't think they're looking at her as a long-term champion. The Unified Tag Team Championship, Usos and the Street Profits, they tear the building apart every time they're in the ring together. So I have no worry about this. This is one of those things, I get we see this all the time, but there's so much talent in that ring at one time. Yeah. And Angelo Dawkins has stepped up to another fucking level. So now you have both Usos, which are extremely good in the ring. You have Montez, who I think is a special talent, who will exceed expectations, and he'll have a long, amazing career. But I think Angelo Dawkins has kind of like been like, hey man, don't forget about me. I can still do this too.
I agree 100% with you on that.
I think he's felt a little bit of disrespect probably coming up from people, even include myself, who go like, Montez is the guy. And he's like, hold my fucking red Solo cup. I'm about to show you some shit. Everybody's guilty of it. And I don't.
But maybe they never featured him enough. So how could we ever know?
It's someone like Angelo has to understand, when we talk good about Montez Ford, it has never been to diminish what Angelo Dawkins accomplishes. Montez Ford is just a special talent right now. That's what he is. And I'm all for keeping them together and Angelo being there with Montez as he goes to the top. But I also think that that Angelo has that ability to be a top guy later on as well. I don't know how old he is. That's one thing. So I don't know if they're the same age. I don't know enough information about that. Okay. United States Championship, Bobby Lashley for Theory. I assume Bobby Lashley is going to win this. So what does that do for Theory? I mean, or does he just get disqualified? There's something amiss here. Something's happening. There's a plan that's going to lead to like, oh, that's why Theory cashes in. And then you have Pat McAfee and Happy Corbin, which every time Pat gets in the ring, it's fucking great.
32. He's 32.
Okay, so that's not too old for wrestling.
No.
But he's old.
I mean, well, for men wrestling, look at all the like stars are all in their late 30s, 40s.
I agree, but you're saying look at all the stars. And I don't know he's there yet.
Star level, yeah. True.
So you got to get there quickly. But here's my problem for Pat McAfee. And you got to be realistic. We got to be objective because I love Pat McAfee. Huge Pat McAfee fan. but can he replicate the success of WrestleMania? Can you do that twice? Or did he set the bar too high?
I mean, that was pretty epic, bro.
Right? And I'm not trying to take anything away from him because I believe everything he does at the highest level to fucking impress. He's like a gladiator, right? He wants to impress the crowd. But sometimes, not even knowingly, you set a bar so high that people even remember, like, I don't even know what the match was. I just remember how good he was. And can he if he does another shooting star press, is that enough, right? Like, he's got to do something even fucking crazier this time for us to remember him. I believe you're right.
That's the type of person that he is.
I do believe you're right, but I just, like, that's my fear is, did he set the bar too high? It looks, I assume we're done with Carmella and Bianca Belair, or has that been announced? I don't know.
But
it feels to me like we're getting Becky Bianca again after Monday Night Raw.
I would like that more. Personally, when we saw it in person, there just was not like the fire there.
Becky has to be involved.
Exactly. If she was not sitting there, it would have been a completely boring match.
It's one of those things, man. It's one of those things that, like, I love Bianca, but it's starting to look like that Bianca's benefiting from Becky coming out and generating some energy in her matches, right?
Yeah.
She comes out and she watches. She comes out, she gets on the commentary, which is cool, right? That means Becky's willing to kind of assist in her title run. Here's what I go. I play fantasy booker again. I have Bianca and I have Becky one-on-one. Becky fucking smash. Right off the bat, 18 seconds, 17 seconds, just like last year's SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Right after that, Bayley's music hits. Bayley gets into the ring face to face with Bianca Belair because that's who she was originally supposed to fight at last year's SummerSlam before she got injured and they switched in Becky Lynch. And so then they can pick up where they left off from last year's SummerSlam.
That'd be pretty epic.
I think that generates the biggest talking point.
Yeah.
Is if I kept trying to associate Bayley with SmackDown, but I don't think they need her right now. I think that Bianca Belair is most in need of Bayley. She needs a big bad guy to kind of rise her up to that next level. And I think Bayley can do that for her. But yeah, I mean, you got to assume there's more matches than this, right? There's got to be a couple more things going on. But this is the meat and potatoes when you start looking at it. Probably Gunther will be on the card somewhere, right? You think?
I have no idea, honestly, for
He's
the
a
rest
champion.
of it. I mean, I think this next week we'll probably be telling something
This
exciting
kind of
to
looks
happen
like the bastard cousin of fucking WrestleMania, which I don't love because you go like, is Pat McAfee Corbin better than or as good as Pat McAfee Theory? It's had a little bit of build up, but it hasn't had enough. We got 2 weeks. I'm not gonna panic. We've got 2 more weeks. Let them flush this thing out. We've got, I think, 3 SmackDowns and 2 Raws before we have to really assess this card.
Yes, sir.
All right, what else you got?